All right, so this Samsung dryer is broke again. Let me show you what it's doing. Go ahead and turn it on. And you hit start. Yeah, and you just hear a humming noise. The drum doesn't turn, just a humming noise is all we got. Let me show you how to fix that, coming up right now. Alright, so I also forgot to mention that if you leave the dryer on long enough while it's humming, you're probably going to notice a pretty burning kind of smell, so don't leave it running if it's doing that. So let's go ahead and pop the hood here. Just take a big screwdriver and kind of stick it in there. Do that. And do that. Then we're going to need a hood prop. I like to use a 2-foot level. Just kind of wedge it in there. Like so. And we're good to go. Now you're going to want to get this whole front of this thing off. And to do that, it's very simple. Just take these 3 screws from on top, Phillips screws. And the 3 from in front. And then push these little tabs down right here. Be careful now, there's a wire connected. We have to get this off of here. I couldn't show it very well because of the angle, but it just pulls out right there. So just carefully do that and then lift up and out. Next, if you've got your shop vac ready, this is probably a good time to start cleaning all this out because who wants to put it back together all dirty and nasty? We need to get the big drum out of here. So to get the drum out, we got to take off this bulkhead, and I'm going to take off this plate right here. You probably don't have to take that off, but you're going to want to vacuum that anyway. That's where the lint filter goes, and it is going to be really dirty, so clean that out too. All right, once you get your 7 screws out, just go ahead and lift up on the bulkhead. Maybe kind of guide the drum while you're doing it, and then it'll come right out. And we have another wire. All right, so next we're going to need to release the belt from the drum. So what you need to do to release it is kind of put your hand through and push the idler that way towards the left, and then that will release the idler so you can get the belt from around it and then from around the motor. Just like that. You can kind of look through this cubby hole right here on the left side and see the idler there. So now that the belt is released, it's very simple just to pull the drum out. You just grab it and pull it out. Alright, so here's your Huckleberry right here, the main drive motor for the drum and the fan and all that kind of stuff. So that's your problem. Let's go ahead and get our electrical plug disconnected. Now make sure your dryer's unplugged, as I said in the beginning. You just squeeze these tabs right here and it pulls right off. Now we got to get the blower fan off of here, so let's take these 2 screws out. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to show you why I think this might have happened, and it might surprise you. Now if you don't have an impact, just use a crescent wrench like this to grab the back of the motor and use a 14mm socket. But I do have an impact, so I'm just going to hold the fan blades like so. Now this is reverse thread, so it's righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. There might be a little bit of Loctite on that, so if you have a little bit of trouble getting it broken loose initially, that's the reason. Now I've already broken this one loose, but if yours doesn't want to come loose very easily, just take a hammer. It doesn't matter if you mess up the threads because we're replacing the motor anyway. Give it a few taps, wiggle it, turn it, tap it some more, and it should come loose. Alright, so from here it's very easy to get the motor out. You've got these 2 metal clips right here on either side of the motor. Just kind of push it down with one hand and use the other hand to release it. Of course, I'm going to do it with one hand, but because of the camera, but it is easier to do it that way. And the other one, same thing. I'm probably going to need 2 hands on this one. Push it down. There we go. A little more difficult because of the angle. And just pull that clip out. Like so. The motor should come right out. Just like that. Put the new one in. Making sure that your two rings right here are in the center of the cradle where the clamp goes, and clamp it back on. There we go. Just make sure to line up the D with the D here so that it will go on there. There we go. Same thing, grab the back of the motor with the crescent wrench if you need to, or use your impact. There we go. Now, what do I think was a contributing factor to this? Let me show you. So I'm just guessing that this was a contributing factor. It's definitely a problem, but it could have caused the motor to run hot due to the extra friction. So take a look at this roller here. This one is working normally. If you can see it right here, the metal sleeve that goes over that axle is intact. But look at this one. See that? The metal sleeve is stuck there on the axle. And this is actually much freer than it was when I found it. It was much more difficult to turn than that. So I got some new rollers. All right, so very simple to change the whole axle shaft and everything. Just take a crescent wrench and break that loose. Just like so. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Might as well change this one while I'm in here. Now keep in mind there's a nut and a washer behind that, so you'll have to reach behind and hold that with a 17mm wrench from behind, or you won't be able to tighten it up. Let's add just a little bit of silicone grease to that before we put the roller on. And put the keeper back. So I'm going to do that to the other three. There's two more in that bulkhead that we took out that goes in the front of the drum. I'm going to change them all out and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've already set the drum in there. There was nothing to really film on that. So go ahead and take your new belt and go around the drum like so until you get to the middle and just drop it down like so. You can also start with the belt already around the drum. It really doesn't matter. But now comes the tricky part. You're going to want to reach in there like I showed you earlier and start with the belt around the motor and push the idler towards the left so you can work the belt around the motor and the idler like so. Here, I'll move my hand out of the way so you can see the whole pattern there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put the bulkhead back and hook the wiring back up, close the hood, all that stuff. The bulkhead's real easy to put back in. You just kind of put the little tabs right here, you pick up the drum and then put it in there. I'll show you right here with some B-roll. It's very easy, not a problem. We'll be back for a test. This puppy is going to work. Alright, so I got it all back together. Let's go ahead and give it a test. I've already got it on. That's what it's supposed to sound like. I went ahead and taped the door switch shut so that we can open the door. Running beautiful. Alright guys, so I hope this video has been helpful. Any questions, comment below. Thanks for watching.